Hello everyone, and welcome to my Beyond the Gates official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. In a shocking twist that sends emotional shockwaves through Crestwood, the script reveals that Andre's sudden departure from Beyond the Gates is not triggered by a breakup, a scandal, or even the mysterious feud he's been hiding for weeks, but something far stranger, deeper and more heartbreaking than anyone in town is prepared to process. Because while everyone has been wondering why Andre has been acting distracted, paranoid, and occasionally disappearing for hours at a time with no explanation, sometimes showing up with dirt under his nails, sometimes looking like he hasn't slept in days, sometimes staring at nothing with a look of dread, no one realizes that this entire time Andre has been receiving anonymous letters, each written in a handwriting he recognizes but refuses to believe is real, letters containing warnings, accusations, and cryptic clues leading him to revisit a buried part of his past he has gone to life-shattering lengths to forget, a chapter of his childhood he believed he had escaped forever when he moved to Crestwood and reinvented himself as the confident, loyal, quick-witted man the audience knows. And as these letters escalate, first appearing at his doorstep, then slipped into his jacket pocket at the diner, then left inside the glove compartment of his locked car, it becomes painfully clear that someone knows the truth he has never spoken aloud. That Andre is not the biological son of the man who raised him, not the product of the family he proudly speaks about whenever he tells stories of his youth, but the result of a secret, dangerous affair between his mother and a man she was terrified of, a man Andre only met once as a child but whose presence still haunts his memories, a man whose identity the show reveals in the most dramatic way possible during a stormy night confrontation between Andre and Peaches, before her death, when she grabs his wrist and whispers, "He's back," and for the first time Andre's mask cracks and he realizes he may be powerless to stop what's coming, because the man who fathered him is not just a stranger but a shadowy criminal figure connected to the unresolved disappearance of several people decades ago, a man the FBI still has on a classified watch list, a man who has resurfaced and is now fixated on Andre, calling him the only unfinished business left. And once Andre learns that this man has been spotted in Crestwood, at the gas station where Eva works, near the Winterfest grounds, even outside the elementary school where Shanice volunteers, he makes the impossible decision to leave town quietly, without explanations, without goodbyes, without revealing to Madison, Nicole, Ted, Chelsea, or anyone else that the real reason he is leaving is not because he wants to, but because he believes staying in Crestwood will put the people he loves in unimaginable danger, and so he packs a single bag, rents a car under a false name, destroys his phone, burns the letters, and disappears into the night before dawn breaks, heading toward a location revealed only in the episode's final moments, a remote desert motel where a single light flickers outside a room door marked 17, the same number that appeared on every anonymous letter, and as Andre approaches the door the audience watches the camera zoom slowly toward the peephole from the inside, suggesting someone is waiting for him, watching him, anticipating his arrival. And just as Andre lifts his hand to knock, a familiar voice from behind the door murmurs, "I knew you'd come home," ending the episode on a cliffhanger that leaves fans stunned, heartbroken, terrified, and desperate to know whether Andre has walked into a trap, whether he plans to confront this long-hidden father, whether he is being manipulated, whether his departure is truly permanent, and, most unsettling of all, whether the danger he tried to protect Crestwood from is already on its way back through the gates, picking up immediately after Andre stands before the door of room 17. The script explodes into even more staggering revelations as the camera follows him inside, where he discovers not his father waiting, but a woman in her late 40s wearing a faded blue jacket with the initials RFC stitched near the collar, a woman whose face Andre recognizes instantly even though he hasn't seen her since the day his mother forced him into the back seat of a car and whispered, "Forget everything you saw," before speeding away from a crime scene he was too young to understand, because this woman, Rena Falk, was once the right hand to his biological father in the underground operation the FBI had spent years trying to dismantle. And before Andre can speak, She steps forward with a strange combination of pity and urgency in her eyes and tells him that the letters weren't sent to torment him but to warn him because his father is dying and wants to see him one last time. But more importantly, Rena claims that Andre is now in possession of something he doesn't even know he has. A small wooden token his mother hid on him as a child. Something she told him was a lucky charm. Something he never thought twice about and kept in a shoebox for years, but which is in reality a key, literal, encoded, and dangerously valuable, to a vault containing documents, blackmail evidence, recordings, and financial trails that could bring down not only Andre's father's criminal empire, but several Crestwood pillars whose pristine reputations would never survive the exposure, including, as the episode hints through quick flashcuts, a mysterious connection to the Winterfest Committee, the Ridgeway Hospital Board, and even a quiet, rarely mentioned town benefactor whose donations have always seemed too generous to be innocent. And as Andre's world fractures under this revelation, the script simultaneously cuts back to Crestwood, where Nicole is starting to suspect something is wrong after discovering Andre's apartment abandoned, the lights off, the keys left on the counter, and his favorite jacket missing. While Madison finds out that the diner's security camera caught Andre hugging Peach's nurse just days before Peaches died, a moment Madison misinterprets completely, believing Andre was betraying a confidence. Not knowing the nurse had secretly slipped Andre yet another warning note, one that read, Room 17. Before he finds you. And Chelsea, after remembering Andre's odd reaction when she jokingly mentioned her genealogy test results, begins connecting she was never meant to see, including how Andre once panicked when he saw a man watching them from across the parking lot, how he burned a bundle of receipts, how he abruptly canceled a date when the words unknown caller flashed on his phone. And as these three women realize independently that Andre is in trouble, the script shifts into high gear. A heavy storm rolls into Crestwood, the power flickers across half the town. Ted intercepts an encrypted message on his brother's old laptop suggesting that someone is tracking Andre's movements, and Eva, still dealing with her own family turmoil, receives a voicemail containing only the sound of wind, footsteps, and then a single whispered sentence. Tell Andre the gates are open, sending her into full-blown panic despite not understanding what it means. While back at the motel, Rena closes the blinds and confesses that Andre's father never wanted him dead but feared the people now hunting him, people far more ruthless than the criminals Andre believed were the worst his past could hold, people who know Andre has the missing vault key and will not hesitate to eliminate anyone he cares about to draw him out. And when Andre demands to know why she's telling him this now, Rena answers with a line that freezes him and the audience in place. Because your father didn't send me. Your mother did. She's alive, Andre. And she's been hiding in Crestwood the entire time. A revelation so explosive it reframes everything fans thought they knew about Andre's backstory. And as the camera zooms in on Andre's shocked expression, the motel door suddenly rattles violently. Someone begins banging from the outside with the force of a battering ram. The lights flicker. Rena draws a gun. And Andre realizes with terrifying clarity that leaving Crestwood didn't save anyone, because whatever he was running from has already found him, already breached the gates, and is about to tear his world apart in ways even he never imagined. As the pounding on the motel door grows louder, each blow shaking the thin walls like a war drum announcing an inevitable breach. Andre's breath comes short and sharp, his mind racing between the revelations Rena has just unleashed and the terrifying immediacy of whoever, or whatever, is now standing outside room 17, because the script makes it painfully clear through deliberate, slow, tension-filled camera shots that the person on the other side of that door is not a random assailant, nor a member of his father's old crew, nor even one of the government agents rumored to be hunting down anyone connected to the missing vault, but an individual whose silhouette clearly matches the man Andre once saw in a childhood memory he suppressed so deeply he convinced himself it was a nightmare. A memory of a figure standing in the doorway of his childhood home during the night his mother forced him to flee, and when Andre whispers, "It's him," Rena's expression shifts from determination to pure dread, because she knows instantly who he means, and she mutters, "Your father isn't the only one who wants that key." Just a second before the door bursts open with a deafening crack, sending splinters flying across the room as a tall, broad-shouldered man in a black coat steps inside. His face hidden behind a scarred mask that looks like it was carved from metal, his voice low and distorted as he says Andre's name with chilling familiarity, and what follows is a frantic, brutal struggle that sends lamps crashing to the floor, the motel bed upended, Rena firing a shot that grazes the intruder's arm but doesn't slow him down, and Andre ducking behind the dresser only to realize the man isn't aiming for Rena at all. He's lunging directly toward him, grabbing his wrist with a grip so strong Andre winces in pain as the man snarls, "The key, boy," and Andre, in a split-second decision fueled by adrenaline, slams his elbow into the man's mask, momentarily stunning him, then grabs Rena's arm and pulls her through the bathroom as they escape out the tiny rear window into the rain-soaked desert night. The camera cutting between the intruder recovering and the two fugitives sprinting across wet gravel, Rena shouting that they must reach a safe house before sunrise, one Andre has never heard of, but which she claims his mother prepared years ago for this exact scenario. And while Andre is still trying to process the impossible, his mother being alive, hiding in Crestwood, preparing safe houses and secret codes, Rena pushes him into an old pickup truck and hotwires it with practiced ease, tires screeching as they speed away down a desolate highway with headlights off. And just as Andre starts to question everything, the script cuts back to Crestwood, where the storm has intensified to the point that the entire town is under an emergency alert, the streets empty, and Nicole, refusing to let her worry consume her, drives across town to Madison's house, insisting they need to track Andre's last known movements, while Madison, already shaken by the rumor she overheard at the market that Andre was seen withdrawing money with shaking hands, agrees immediately, and Chelsea, after receiving an anonymous text saying, "He didn't leave you. He left them," races to join them at the diner, and when the three women finally pool their information, Nicole's discovery of the jacket, Madison's security footage, Chelsea's mysterious text, they suddenly realize a horrifying pattern. Andre has been quietly preparing for days, maybe weeks, leaving breadcrumbs no one noticed because everyone in Crestwood was too distracted by their own chaos. And just as the women vow to find him no matter where he went, Ted bursts through the diner door, carrying printouts of encrypted signals he intercepted, signals all pointing to one shocking truth. Someone with knowledge of Andre's past has been tracking him through Crestwood for months, staying one step behind him, waiting for him to slip, and the latest signal, sent only minutes earlier, came from a remote desert location, the exact direction Andre drove toward, which sends the entire group into a spiral of panic and determination. While back in the truck, Andre grips the dashboard as Rena reveals the final, devastating blow of the episode. "Your father isn't the one pursuing you," she says, her voice breaking. "It's his replacement, the man who took control after he vanished. The one they call the gatekeeper. He wants the vault, and he'll burn Crestwood to the ground to get it." And as lightning cracks across the sky, and the desert road stretches endlessly ahead, the episode fades out on Andre's horrified realization that everything he left Crestwood to protect, the people he loves, the town he found family in, the fragile peace he tried to build, is already in the crosshairs of a man whose name alone implies that Andre's past is not something he can outrun because the gatekeeper is not here to close the story but to open the gates. As the thunder cracks above them and the storm transforms the desert highway into a shimmering, unpredictable blur. The next episode of Beyond the Gates dives even deeper into Andre's spiraling ordeal as Rena pushes the pickup to its limits, every jolt of the tires hinting that the truck might fall apart before they reach the safe house. All while Andre's mind floods with memories he never wanted to revisit, his mother's trembling hands as she buckled him into the car seat the night they fled, the way she whispered, "Don't open your eyes," as sirens wailed in the distance, the metallic smell of smoke, the shaking ground, the low voice calling his name, all of it returning with suffocating clarity as Rena finally reveals that the safe house they're racing toward isn't just a place his mother built, but the last remaining sanctuary connected to the original resistance that formed against Andre's father decades ago, a group dedicated to stopping the gatekeeper. Long before the world even knew his name, and while Andre struggles to find his voice through the storm of revelations, the script cuts sharply back to Crestwood, where the sirens echo through the empty streets and the diner's neon sign flickers in and out like an old heartbeat as Nicole pores over the scattered papers Ted dumped on the counter, pausing when she notices that several of the encrypted signal timestamps correspond to nights Andre disappeared abruptly, including the night Peaches died, a discovery that causes Madison to burst into tears, believing Andre might somehow be connected to Peaches' final secrets until Chelsea, shaking, points out that Peaches had been trying desperately to tell someone something before she passed, and what if that someone was Andre, and what if Peaches knew the gatekeeper was coming? And what if everything they assumed about Andre's withdrawal was actually Andre shielding them from danger they couldn't comprehend? And as the three women argue, the power goes out entirely, plunging the diner into darkness except for a single flashing police beacon outside, and suddenly, Eva bursts through the back door drenched from the storm, clutching her phone and crying that she finally decoded the strange voicemail she received. When played backward, layered with noise reduction, the whispered message becomes horrifyingly clear. He's coming for the boy. Open the gates. The moment the group processes this, the script cuts back to the desert as the pickup skids to a halt near a cluster of jagged rocks marking the entrance to a narrow canyon, the exact location of the hidden safe house, which is revealed to be a bunker carved into the stone, camouflaged with weather-beaten metal panels and dead vines, and as Rena ushers Andre inside, she locks several reinforced doors behind them and finally tells him the truth he has been unknowingly circling for years. His mother didn't flee Crestwood because she was scared of Andre's father. She fled into Crestwood because she believed the town was the only place the gatekeeper wouldn't look, a town protected by old alliances with people Andre never suspected, including one very familiar figure who has been silently watching over Andre for months. Before Andre can ask who she means, the bunker lights flicker on and a familiar voice emerges from the shadows. About time you got here. And Andre turns to see Mayor Ruth Hallberg, Crestwood's seemingly harmless, matronly mayor, standing in tactical gear with a gun slung across her shoulder, her face half-lit, half-obscured as she reveals she was once a ranking member of the resistance and has been preparing for the gatekeeper's return for 20 years, guarding Crestwood not from external threats, but from the inevitable day when Andre's past would come breaking through the gates. And as Andre struggles not to collapse under the weight of this revelation, Ruth reveals an even more terrifying truth, that the gatekeeper's real target is not Andre himself, but the vault key's secondary function. It contains encoded evidence proving that several powerful Crestwood elites have been laundering money, covering up disappearances, and funding the gatekeeper in exchange for protection. And if the vault opens, their secrets burn, meaning Crestwood is not just in danger, it is compromised from within, and the gatekeeper is already there, embedded, protected by people Andre once trusted. And as the camera cuts back to the town, lightning illuminates a single figure standing outside the darkened diner window, watching Nicole, Madison, Chelsea, Eva, and Ted with motionless precision, the silhouette unmistakably matching the masked man from the motel, the figure lifting a device that emits a soft clicking sound before he murmurs into it. Target acquired. The gates are open, and the episode ends with a silent, lingering shot of Crestwood's welcome sign shaking in the wind, its paint peeling, the words "Welcome to Crestwood," where the past stays buried flickering ominously as the screen cuts to black with no music, only the sound of distant, closing footsteps.